What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Amsterdam? Is it the architecture and canals, the museums and history, or perhaps even the legalized marijuana and prostitution along with their riveting nightlife? Amsterdam is a unique and interesting city, and today I'm going to pay it tribute and hopefully inspire you to add it to your list of places to check out. When I was studying in London, I enjoyed going on holiday during my breaks from school, and making my way to Amsterdam has always been a pilgrimage that I've wanted to take, so I decided to spend my spring break there so that I can explore the city and partake in many of the exciting things that Amsterdam has to offer. I loved my experience so much that I would like to pay tribute to Amsterdam, and today I'm going to inform all of you about the city itself, what there is to do there, and the two most unique attractions in my opinion, the red light district and the coffee shops. A bit about the city itself with some facts and a brief history. Facts about the city. Amsterdam is both the capital and largest city in the Netherlands. There are almost 800,000 people living within the city and over 2 million in the total metropolitan area. Only half of the residents are Dutch natives, so the rest are immigrants. That means the English is widely spoken and there are fantastic ethnic restaurants to eat at. Mercer ranked Amsterdam at 13th for quality of life because the city has so much to offer and the population is generally very happy. So the city was settled about 800 years ago. One major event in history is that the Nazis invaded it during World War II, which some of you may know from Anne Frank's story. Amsterdam has a lot of choices for public transportation. The roadways are primarily canals. There are canals just down every street. There are bridges. It's a very bike-friendly city. Cars are discouraged in the city. You really want to take buses or trams, ride your bike, walk, and then they do have taxis. A boat actually offers a great way to see the city from the perspective of the waterways, so I'd recommend doing that. And another point I'd like to make about Amsterdam is that there is so much to do there. There are so many tourist attractions, shopping centers, cafes, and clubs which provide entertainment to those looking for something to do. There are many museums to visit in Amsterdam, such as the Rijksmuseum, which is a museum that contains many important pieces from Dutch history, like arts and crafts, and there's a boat there. There's the Anne Frank House. There is the Amsterdam Museum, which tells you all about the city. The Van Gogh Museum, which, as you can imagine, great works of art from the great Dutch artist Van Gogh. If you have more adult-oriented tastes in your museums, there are also museums dedicated to sex and cannabis. There's the Heineken experience. You get to see the brewery and have some beer. Festivals all the time. One worth noting is the Amsterdam Gay Pride Parade, which is really neat because instead of floats on trucks, there's floats on boats. And that's really exciting and unique. There are many popular venues and nightclubs in Amsterdam, such as all-night cafes and discotheques. When I was there, I was really amazed that the city basically didn't shut down until like 5 in the morning. People just party all night. My final point in this tribute to why Amsterdam is so great, I feel that the two most unique attractions are the red light district and coffee shops. So, speaking of Amsterdam's nightlife, there's the famous red light district. I personally went to the De Wallen red light district, which is the largest and most famous of the city. It's not the only one. Women rented windows for a night, and they really are illuminated by red lights. And I would go over there and watch guys like knock on the window or do a little signal. They would barter, and then the dude would go in. And that's really as easy as it gets. Do not take your camera out. If security catches you, they will throw it in the canal because it's a privacy issue for the ladies. And that's the red light district. And then there is cannabis culture in Amsterdam. Sales of marijuana up to 5 grams at a time is legal, despite it being illegal to produce marijuana, but it's a weird legal gray area, and the country's famously lax on their drug laws. A coffee shop is not a place where you get a latte, it's a place where you smoke cannabis. You can only smoke cannabis in coffee shops, no tobacco. When you make a purchase, they provide you with rolling papers, and at some places you might even rent a utensil for smoking. There's legislation in the works to ban tourists from being able to go to coffee shops due to drug-related violence in some of the border cities in the Netherlands. If this happens, it would be tragic for tourists as well as Amsterdam's economy. Luckily, coffee shop owners are fighting this in court. So as you now know, there's many things to see and do in Amsterdam. The Dutch capital is a unique city that has a lot to offer both residents and tourists alike. You can marvel at the unique system of roadways, canals, and bridges. You can go to museums, you can party. It really is one of the best party cities in the world. And my holiday in Amsterdam was one of my favorite experiences and truly worth paying tribute to. Even if you aren't there to party, there is still plenty of things to do. I hope that I've conveyed my enthusiasm for this great place to all of you, and I leave you with the question, what would you do in Amsterdam?